Hi, this is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle. We'll be back again on my reel hunting. We're going to do a flea market find thing, and the subject of this one we'll call What $20 Can Buy You at a Flea Market. This one again is in the New Jersey Mid-Atlantic area. It's towards the ocean, so a lot of this type of fishing that you see and the gear that you find at these flea markets are geared towards the saltwater fishing environment. And also this time of year now, we're in the fall, first day of fall, and you start to see a lot of stuff that folks have used over the summer coming up for sale because they're either going to get new gear or something else is in their plans for next year, and they're just looking to turn it over and get some cash out. So let's start with the first one then. You're looking at an Ambassador 6500C. It's a reel that came up. It was $20. And we've talked a lot about looking and having a conversation with the vendor about the reel. So you want to check out all the features, functions. You just saw that the spool release is working. You also want to pay attention to the line guide, make sure that's working. Then you want to look at overall condition. In this case, there's some boat rash. That's what we'll call it here, some corrosion. We'll clean that up as best we can. But this is a made in Sweden reel. And one of the things I noticed is I was doing two things with this that made it $20. The first one was the fellow wanted to sell it for higher, and it was attached to a pole. The pole it was attached to was a spinning pole with the large eyelets. And I mentioned to him that you know, it was a mismatched set, and I really didn't want the rod at all. Would he consider selling the reel separate from the rod? Nice rod, I just didn't match the reel. And they did, so we brought that down to the $25 area. And then the last test I did, I tested the drag. Now this is fully compressed as a drag, and it's not holding. So I mentioned that it needed new drag washers. Would he give me the additional $5 off on this reel to make it a $20 sale? And they did. So what $20 gets you? Part one, it gets you a $6,500 6500C Ambassador, made in Sweden, needs drag service. Now, if you know how to do the drag services, and we'll do this one on one of our videos, if you know how to do the drag services, it's the cost of a drag, plus your time and effort there, which is somewhere in the vicinity of about $5 for the drag, maybe $7 with the shipping. If you didn't know how to do the drag, if you were in a situation with this fellow and you took it to somebody to get service, well, they're going to tell you it's $25. Now you're looking at a $50 or a $55 cost for the valuation of this reel, and that's putting you right on the corner of what the reel is actually worth. So, you know, I can see why this would wind up being sold. Okay, that's part one. All right, so then what did we do with our let's go get $20 effort? So the next one up, I found a Penn Fierce, and I found a reel that rod that it was attached to. This is a Penn Fierce 4000. They retail for about $60. This is the Fierce 2. You can tell the Fierce 2 they have the bullet holes in the spool, or you can just look below and it's FRC2 II 4000. It's been used. There's some bump guard wear. There's some wear on the rotor. Had some line, I guess it must have broken off there. There's wear on the bail, but functionally it's still a very smooth reel. And we're going to we'll take this apart and rebuild this as part of the YouTube video. But for the $20 it came on a rod. Guess what? Mismatched again. Here's a 6'6" Berkeley Fusion rod with small eyelets. Small eyelets. Abu Garcia reel. We've got the match now of the right reel on the right pole. $40. I've got a combination that I can fish or I can sell. That's the right pole matched to the Ambassador, and I've got a used reel with a lot of life left in it in the Penn Fierce for $20 that is certainly capable of doing most of the stuff that we're going to do here on the East Coast. And if I want to sell it, I can certainly recover the $20 plus time and effort to clean that up as part of the deal. So that's the second $20 that I spent. The third $20 kind of came interestingly enough. So it's a couple of dollars more than 20, but you'll understand. We had a reel out there. It's the Garcia Mitchell 302 saltwater. If you fished on the East Coast and you were anywhere near my age, you probably grew up fishing this, or at least wishing that you had this reel to fish. Nice reel, little greening on the bail, but other than that, the patina on this one is wonderful. There's no scrapes, scratches, or otherwise in terms of deterioration on the paint. This one's going to clean up beautifully. We'll get the old line off of it. Probably replace the bail here because it's only going to look new by the time I get done with this one. $15. Okay, so that's not where the story ends. The fellow had this one out and he had a lot of fishing gear on his table. And I asked him, well, do you have any other stuff? I like working on Mitchell's pens, older reels, and I'm looking for parts reels. So the next thing that came out was this. A long-handled 302 attached to it, missing the top part, but I can use that butt for a surf pole, and it's tight. It's like every other Mitchell that's been out there and not serviced in a while. It takes a little effort, right? So that was part one. Then he brought out a bag, had another Mitchell in it because I told him I like to work on Mitchells. Mitchell with a somewhat sticking bail here. This is the 300, the 1980s version. Sticking bail, not a big deal. Again, one of these that hasn't been serviced in a while. And lastly in that patch was the good old, and I mean old, this one's got the etched side plates on it, pen 155, and it probably needs an adjustment there, pen 155. So I asked, okay, what for all three, considering I had just purchased the other 302, and they came back and said $12, you got the three of them in this wonderful rod butt. So $27, two 302s, a 300, and a 155, all completely capable of being put back into service. One of them a beauty. The other one not far behind it. This one here on the rod doesn't show the boat rash, the rot, or any of the other stuff that you typically see on an older 302. So we've got some nice 302s we'll recondition. I was on eBay the other day looking at these, and they're going for $30, $40, $50 in working condition, plus the shipping. Nice. These are always a $15 or a $20 reel recondition. This one, you know, the 300s, there's an awful lot of 300s out there. You know, $10, $15 for sure. Okay, so that's a $27 purchase there. And I know you always like the fines and why am I doing these things and what does it matter? Sometimes, you know, when I do these videos, I'm just looking for reels to do. And boy, did I find a pile of them here. So here's a case of a fellow may or may not have known what he had, but what he did know is he had a desire to get rid of reels. And here we go. $2 a piece. How can you lose? So here's a 155, just like we saw before. It's the newer version of the one. No etched side plates or anything. Pretty good condition, just got a lot of boat rash on it. We'll clean that up with some steel wool, and it won't ever come back to highly polished chrome, but it's going to be enough that when you put line on it, it won't rip the line up, and that'll go back into the water fishing. $2 a piece, remember, for these. Here's a reel I used to see quite a bit. I don't see it anymore. It's the Flooger Capital. It had a beautiful chromed finish on the one side plate. It's a wider chassis reel. This reel comes from the 60s or so. It's spinning. It has, seems like it has drags that hold, and it does pop the free spool. This is, again, you want to test these things when you do it, but for $2 you kind of don't have to worry too much about it. So where's the problem with this one? It's in the back spool. It doesn't have an anti-reverse. We're going to take this one apart. We're going to show you how it's made, and you'll get a kick out of this one. It's an older reel again. And what you want to do is you're examining these reels. You want to make sure you don't have a cracked side plate here. You're never going to find one. So if you do have a cracked side plate, consider it a parts reel. $2. Okay. Next up was something I can never say no to. These are the Daiwa. These are the bronze and the blue and the silver series reels. This one is the Daiwa B150RL. Very simple reel. Everything's working in it. Missing a side plate screw. That's alright, I got enough of those that we'll be able to put that back. But I think I may have done one on this. If I haven't done one of the videos on this, we'll go ahead and do a video on this one. Again, I look for candidates that we can do the videos on as well to share those experiences with you. But this one's going to clean up nice, and we'll get that one back out fishing as well. Here's what the $20 meant to me. These are old Seaboys, or Seahawks. They're the 77s. There's 3 of them. They all turn. None of them are cracked. Some of them have a little bit more boat rash than others. All of them have the old Bakelite handles on them. These are the knuckle busters. They go front and back. They cry at you. You can hear them screaming because they haven't been oiled in way too long. That doesn't mean they don't work. Here's one that's working better. What's that going to be? We're going to bring some steel wool out. We'll put some chrome polish. We'll get this rash off of there. We'll oil them up. They'll go on eBay for $30. That's my $20 back for all the reels that I paid. 3 of them, $20 or $30 rather. All right, that's the Seahawks. What's next? Next up, we have a fun one. You just don't see this one. This is a very rare reel. This is the Farcast. It's an Ocean City Farcast, and it's got a funky little addition to the reel up top here. The line would come through this as opposed to coming through the top, so that as you're throwing, this is at the top of your cast. It's kind of right in line with your the eyelets on your rod, and the notion was you're going to be able to throw this further. So what do we got here that's an issue? Guess what? No back any reverse. Okay, again, in this case, knowledge is everything, because it's not in the cost to fix this. It's finding somebody who actually knows how to fix it. So if you have that knowledge, and you will, because we'll put this one on the YouTube video, you go learn how to do this one. You'll be able to fix that for next to nothing. I'm going to assume the parts are in there. If the parts aren't in there, those parts are the same as the 112 series, or the Bay City series for Ocean City. And I'll make sure to go put it in there. And as we did on a prior video, the drags, if they need to be changed, the drags from the Penn Long Beach series will fit these. Okay, moving right along then. Here's an old Daiwa. I don't even remember the name on it, the number on it. It's a four-digit number. I think it begins with B. It might be 4360 or something. In material. The thing works. Enough said, right? It works. Clean it up. Maybe put it on that pole that the other one, it's the surf pole. And we're just going to show you how this one's made. Get the old line off of there. Drags still work amazingly. So we're good with that one. That's a Daiwa reel. It'll get cleaned up. And we'll get that back into service. And then 2 more, because I didn't want to change back from the 20. This is a Mitchell 230. That's a more modern Mitchell. And when you do these spinning reels, you want to make sure, among other things, that the spool is going up and down as you're turning this. These things frequently will break a crosswind block, so you want to make sure that that's intact. And then you do the other pieces. You inspect, you flip the bail, make sure the bail works, you tighten up the drag, make sure that works. And you know what? For $2, it's going to make some kid happy. And then last one, just because we threw it in, it's another Mitchell. This is a smaller Mitchell now. And this one's probably a parts reel. Here's the problem. They lost the button up top. This is the wrong button. And you don't, well, right now you have a spool that's locked down with this thing. But that shouldn't be. Otherwise, it's working, right? So we'll see if we can't add that one to our library and find the right button for the top here. So that's what $20 buys you at a flea market, if you're in the right place at the right time and you have a little bit of knowledge and you know what you're going to do. So one final one. This is from a different flea market, but as long as it's within arm's reach. This one was an earlier purchase. This is not a $20 purchase. This is the Flooger Seastar 1050. It was made in Ohio in the US. At first glance, when you see these reels, you swear you're looking at a damn quick, but it's not the case. It's a Flooger. It's operable. This one was $5. So again, sometimes I don't buy them just for the sake of doing anything with them other than the videos. But in this case, I guess I'm just a sucker for somebody who's got a reel that you want to sell cheap. Now the issue with this one, we have a stuck arm here. This thing should be going back and forth. I am going to guarantee you that the problem here is just gunk and grime. And when you go to flip the bail, this should be moving in to set, and it's not doing that. So we'll go ahead and take this apart. There you go. It sets that manually. So I know it can work, and I know it can trip. We just have to work on that in terms of getting that loose. And I get bail questions all the time on spinning reels, so it'll be another lesson for us in terms of how to fix a sticking bail. So with that, that's the upcoming projects. That's the work that's planned. That's some of the finds from a local flea market expedition in hunting reels. And I hope you stay tuned to see a lot of these in action. And if you have fishing friends out there, please let them know about my channel, let them know about the upcoming work we're doing, and ask them to subscribe, because we're on our goal to get to 5,000 subscribers. So with that, I thank you for watching. This is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle.